Why, hello people. Welcome to part 2 of the Arcane Idol design process. So, a bit of recap. So this is part 2, really shitty sketches, sorry. And this is part 1. So we had some ideas for her. So my character is Medusa. So she actually found a talisman, and then she became Arcane Idol, a performer. Okay, so these are the ideas for part 1. And then for part 2, today we will be looking at, we need 3 requirements for the contest, right? We need equipment, and then we need a talisman, and then also a logo. So today we will be looking at those 3 things. So just a little thumbnail here to give you an idea of size. So this is equipment. So my idea is I suggest you to look up the story of Medusa online. So we would be on the same page, because I am using a lot from her original story. So in her story, she eventually gave birth to Pegasus, the flying horse, right? So I wanted her equipment to be a giant harp, and decorated as a horse, a flying horse with wings, like something like here, and which I'd like it to be the soul of Pegasus, somehow traveled through time, back in time, right, and then protect her mother, right, from her ridiculous fate, really really poor fate, right, actually bullied by the gods. So her talisman will be greatly linked to her equipment. So that out of the way, so we're looking at the equipment now. So some sketches just exploring the shape. So I think it will be really interesting if the thing actually floats. So it's a powerful Greek artifact, right? Like Thor's hammer. So this thing could actually float behind her, and it's actually huge. And I've broken the form into 2 parts, so they could do this. Harp could do 3 things, right? It could carry her around. She could ride on it, and then it could play music, and then it could attack enemies. It could shoot sunlight or thunderbolts, something like that. Something mythological, Greekish. So need her for the. So this is those 3 things, right? Drawn really poorly, right? So this is the 2 forms, right? 1 and 2, that will float behind her like this, floating behind her, and then she could ride on it like this, right? She's here, sitting on it, and then this will act like a flag. Visually, looks like a boat, right? So this looks like the flag of the boat, and then this actually is the lower part turned. It could shoot something here, right, out of here, and then this one could shoot something out of here for the attack mode. So I'll probably go with this design, interesting enough for me, and we'll eventually add we will eventually draw it better. That out of the way, talisman, just very straightforward. I think could use the shape of the horse head, right, or or an orb with a horse soul in it. So the talisman's name is Soul of Pegasus. So it goes with the equipment, right? Go with the giant harp. They are set, right? So she controls the harp with this talisman, right? And it plays wonderful music that people want to hear. So this is it for the talisman. we'll probably go with this or this, right? Horse head or an orb, so something like this, right? Will communicate as an amulet. So maybe a horse symbol here inside. Yeah, something like that. So for my favorite part for the day, the logo, right? So at first I think about these, right, snakes or her head, but if you are Athena, no, sorry, you are Medusa, you've been changed into a snake, you won't like it, right? You won't promote it. If I do something really harsh to you, you won't make it your logo, right? Probably. So if I am Medusa, what will I do? What would I feel? I will feel hatred, right, towards Poseidon. So a quick recap of the story is Poseidon loved her, right? Like her, she's really pretty, and he raped her, right? And then Athena is she is actually serving in Athena's temple, so she looked for protection from Athena, but Athena didn't help her at all. Instead, after the rape, she's like, you're not clean, because Athena was jealous of her beauty, right? So she changed her hair into snakes. So that's the story. So in the logo design, it needs to be graphically communicatable. So I'm using a lot of symbol and shapes. So this is actually the trident, right? It looks like this, right? The trident, the weapon of Poseidon. So it's piercing through the skull of Athena, right? So if you look at Athena, she's actually imaged like this, right? The way she wears the helmet. So I think the side view is more interesting. So this is the side view, right? You can see the trident penetrating through the skull, and then she's wearing that helmet that funny way. Instead of the front view, looks kind of too dull, and yeah. So I'll probably pick a side view for this one, and then try to simplify the shapes to be most readable, because it's gonna be small. The logo, I think, not too big, right? Something on her body, uh, on the shield or something. I'll find somewhere to put on her, right? So that's it for the logo, the equipment, and the talisman design. My ideas. Hopefully you had fun. I definitely had a lot of fun thinking these ideas, and then I will be looking forward to render them, to draw them better, right? Better than these sketches anyway. So that's it for today. If you like the process, you can look at the pictures in the blog, and that's it. And I'll see you guys around.